Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are starting Surah Takweer, Idha Shamsu Kuwirat. This is from the very early period of revelation. Meccan period is number 7 after Surah Lahab. So it's very early time of the Nabuwa. And as we have mentioned before, in Meccan period, the main focus or main theme of the surah, or when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed, there was lots of push on Qiyamah, this accountability. So this happens in the last few Juzzes, according to one is from Surah Saba till Nas, is talking about Qiyamah in Malikiyah, and according to a different Nazam system is from Tabarak al-Ladhi till Qul a'udhu rabbin nas. So there is a special force or special attention has been given to this proper belief on Qiyamah. So similarly, in the last few surahs we have done was all based on Qiyamah, and this few surahs that we're doing now and this surah that we're doing now is same. The Qiyamah theme is going at the back. But before we go to the actual theme, what is the da'wah of the surah, let's discuss the pairing of the surahs. As we said, Wal Mursalat and Surah Naba is together, has a pair, and Wan Nazi'at and Abasa, and similarly this surah, Surah Takweer and Surah Infitar are the same as well, they are in pair, and the next two surahs. But some ulama say that these four surahs from Idha Shamsu Kuwirat, Idha Saman Fatarat, Wa il Mutaffifin, and Idha Saman Shaqqat, they come as four in one pair. So I hope that so they are a pair of four instead of two, and there are very much lots of similarities, but inshallah when we do the other surahs we will be able to see those similarity and this cohesion in the Quran, inshallah. But going on to discussing these two surahs, you see, even when we hear these two surahs, إِذَا السَّمَاءُ فَطَرَتْ إِذَا السَّمَاءُ إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ وَإِذَا النُّجُومُ كَدَرَتْ وَإِذَا الْجِبَالُ سُيِّرَتْ وَإِذَا الْعِشَارُ عُطِّلَتْ. Same the other one. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ فَطَرَتْ وَإِذَا الْكَوَاكِبُ انْتَثَرَتْ وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ فُجِّرَتْ وَإِذَا الْقُبُورُ بُعْثِرَتْ. See, it sounds similar, and even in the meaning they have lots of similarities. Another thing with these is this إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ, it has 12 إِذَا, and the other one same, it has إِذَا, but it has 4. The other similar ayah in these two is the ayah number 2 itself. وَإِذَا النُّجُومُ كَدَرَتْ in Surah Takweer. Okay, the ulama, they have various meaning, but one of the meaning is that when it's lose its light, when it's lose its shine, when it become dim. Okay, in the next surah, same ayah number 2, it says وَإِذَا الْكَوَاكِبُ انْتَثَرَتْ, when it falls. So one is losing the light and then it falls. So it has lots of similarity, these two surahs. And they say even the ma'ani of the surah, it has similar. You see, in the first surah that we discussed at the beginning, in this surah that we're going to be doing, إِذَا الشَّمْسُ كُوِّرَتْ, what it has talking about the wahi itself. Okay, the Quran is true and the Prophet is true. Okay, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does affirmation of the ithbati risala and ithbat or sidqi Quran. Okay, so these two, the wahi itself is being affirmed. And in the next surah is talking about Qiyamah. You see, if the wahi is not believed, if the wahi is not accepted as truth, people won't have true belief on Qiyamah. There won't be a proper belief on Qiyamah as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And you see, the way the people denied wahi was in very subtle manner. Okay, so what they do is that maybe it's right, okay, that this wahi is correct, okay, but it's possible that maybe Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, na'udhu billah, got deceived by shaitan. Maybe he didn't hear it from Jibreel alayhi salam. Okay, or maybe like this or like that. But he is good, but maybe. They put this maybe question. Okay, so they on their faces accept, but internally they deny. But it's in very subtle manner. Similarly, in Surah Infitar, same thing is happening. Ya ayyuhal insanu ma gharraka bi rabbikal kareem. This ayah will be coming in Surah Infitar after a'liman nafsum ma qaddamat wa akharat. Yeah? That these people, they say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoorur Rahim. Why would He just punish people? Okay, what harm would he reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if He takes the people out from Jahannam and put it in Jannah? The rahmah of Allah is vast. It will definitely reach us as well. Okay, and you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are mentioning these adhab and the punishments and so on only to scare us. But at the end of the day, Allah is Ghafoorur Rahim, He is Kareem, and He has they are deceived by the beautiful attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in that fashion they continue in their filth and they deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they deny or they do not work for the accountability. So similar thing is happening in the Shamsu Kuwarat, that they're denying in the Wahi in the similar fashion. Maybe, okay, maybe Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got deceived, na'udhu billah, or they have these, inshallah we'll do this in a bit details later on, but they have in this similar fashion denying the Wahi, and in similar fashion they denying Qiyamah. So both have this subtle manner of the criminals that we're talking about, which is very much relevant to our time. All the Quran is relevant. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send Quran only for Quraysh and Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at the time that we have to link every single thing with them. No, everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is relevant at all times. This is the mu'jiz of the Quran, that it tackles the issue and rectify the problems of all times. So similarly, these things are happening in our society. Inshallah we'll continue. Another thing the ulama mentioned, you see the 4 surahs we said, you see this surah from the 4 pairs. Is a Shamsu Kuwarat. You have 2 themes that's going. One theme starts from one portion of the surah till Fala uqsimu bil khunnas, till here, and from there is another theme that's happening. So 2 themes are going in this surah. Similarly, in the last pair of this 4 pairs of the surah is the, I don't know what we call it, is a pairs or 2 pairs of, so if the 4 surahs that are come together is as a group. Okay, so the first surah of the group, which is Idha Shamsu Kuwirat, has 2 themes. Okay, and it starts from Fala uqsimu, so it starts from an oath, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making something witness. Similarly, the last surah of this group, the 4th surah, is Idha Sama'un shaqqat. It starts from similar. It starts from Fala uqsimu bishafaqa. Okay, similar, and 2 themes is going in there, 2 themes is going in here. So all these 4 surahs are beautifully linked together. The da'wah, the main maqsad, purpose of this surah, the claim of this surah, is the affirmation of Qiyamah with maqsad Quran or maqsad Qiyamah. What is the purpose of Qiyamah? This is to meet, the human will meet its own action, its own a'mal. So this is the first theme of the surah. The next one is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives takhweef, fear those people who deny that Jibreel alayhi salam, Jibreel al-Amin, who have brought this Quran to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who is not bidanin on ghaib. Inshallah we'll discuss this later on. And there is a mention of attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Rabbul Alameen in this surah. There are 1 or 2 hadith inshallah that we will mention, and they are beautiful because sometime as a human being, because we are all weak, we all make sins, okay, we are always we have to be careful, because shaitan is the worst of our enemy, and there are so many filth going around us. As they come in a hadith, I don't remember exactly the hadith, but it comes as if I remember to the nearest meaning, that holding on to this deen, okay, being patient, okay, at this time, okay, or Rasulullah is talking about a time will come, you're holding on to this deen, or being patient is like holding on to a live coal. Okay, so that's how it has become really. Okay, look around you, every step that you take, okay, if it's for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will have to fight so many things in order to fulfill that thing, especially those people who are living in Europe, those people who are living in UK and so on. The sins have become so easy, has become that it's acceptable. You meant to do the sins in order to live, in order to be accepted. Okay, if you want to do something good, you will have to come out of this society. You will become someone strange. Okay, you will have to break so many shackles in order to do a good deed. So this is how it has become. So this is really holding on to a live coal. Everyone is around against you. Even your own family members will be against you. Okay, I'm not giving examples because it'll make it relevant to that one or two examples, but just think about your own life, think about your own struggles when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you're understanding Quran and deen, or implementing this deen in your life. Just think about it, how many things you have to go against, how many people you will have to upset, okay, in order to fulfill that order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is tough, okay, in that kind of situation. Okay, and when you feel like you are down, when you feel like the things that you're doing does not have much effect, okay, come back to some of these surahs. Think about this Quran, because this Quran gives you relief. This Quran gives the real truth, the real reality, what you are doing and what you meant to be doing, and what is your real purpose in this dunya. Okay, so this is Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says. It has been mentioned that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, whoever wishes to see Qiyamah with his own eyes, okay, let him recite إذا الشمس كورت إذا السماء انفطرت إذا السماء انشقت. All these surahs which we said is in group, yeah, والمطففين is a bit different, okay, but this gives you a live image of the Qiyamah. When we are focused, when we are only thinking about these surahs, you will feel that you are like standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will feel like you're standing and the a'mal has been given to you. Okay, now you will be able to understand that why you are here in this dunya, what sorts of things you can go through, okay, and have to go through, but to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, when we have this kind of understanding of Quran, when we feel down, when there is no energy left, the iman level or the taqwa level is really low, we come to Quran, we sit in front of the Quran, open the Quran and talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to you. Okay, listen what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to tell you. Ponder over this Quran and your energy will go back up. This Quran is your iman. This Quran will give you this nutrition or this food that is needed for your iman, for you to come back and to wake up and to stand up against these troubles and these issues and this fitna that we are all going through. May Allah have mercy on us and may Allah make it easy. In another hadith it comes that I think Abu Bakr asked Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you have gone great. You have gone great. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam responds that I have gone great. My hair has become grey because of Surah Hud, Surah Waqi'ah, Mursalat, Amma yatasa'alun, and إذا الشمس كورت. That's heavy. That's how heavy these surahs are. This is how it reminds people of their reality, that why you are here in this dunya, Who is your main goal? Whom to please? Remember, there is a day coming where you're going to be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one whom you meant to please in this dunya, not your own whims and desires, not your family, not your tribe, not your nations, no one. The one you meant to please, the one you meant to work toward was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was your reality. What did you do in this dunya? Okay, this is what it reminds a person, that you will be standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you will be held accountable for the things you have done in this dunya. So may Allah give us the true understanding. May Allah forgive our shortcomings. We are all weak, so we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness at all times as much as we can. Now going to the next portion of the surah, which is the linking rabat between these two surahs. The surahs we have previously done, Amma, it is Surah Abasa and Idha Shamsu Kuwirat. As we have mentioned, this Quran is cohesive, it's beautiful, it's like one sentence. And I think I was listening Sheikh Mufti Ayaz rahimahullah, who is teaching in Peshawar Tafseer. He does it in Ramadan. So I was listening to one of his lectures, and he mentions that one of the Sheikh, I forgot the name, okay, it just came up, so I didn't look up the video to get the names and things like that. He said that one of the Sheikh, he looked at the Quran and he said, this is like one sentence. Okay, that's how much is cohesive. And then he looked at it again in similar fashion. Okay, and because people can look at the Quran in different ways to understand the Quran, to look at one way of the understanding the Quran, one fashion to take benefit in that way, and then the other way and the other way, and so on. People can do that. Okay, as we are doing it one fashion in here as well. Okay, I am adding too many together, but at the end of the day, this is one way of understanding that we break the surahs to, and then we link the surahs and so on. Yeah. So similarly, this Sheikh was doing same thing. So once he looked at it, he said, this is like one sentence. And the next time he looked at it in the same lenses, he said, this is one sentence. Okay, so that's how it is being linked, as we have mentioned, as we grouping, and then after the group we link it to the previous surah. So you can understand, even in the surah that we're doing, we link the ayahs with the previous surahs, we link the maqsad of the surah with the previous surah, and so on. So it's like one beautiful speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it breaks this evil claim that people have that this is the word of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has written it down. 23 years, okay, this has been spent on this Quran. It was revealed, okay, 22 and 6 months or 5 months or so, but around 23 years has been spent or was gone in the writing or coming with this book. How was it possible for a human being to write such an amazing book that there are no errors to now? It is so cohesive, even slight, the words that has been used, the letters that have been used, it's beautiful. The way has been put together, it's amazing. This is not the work of a human being, but the one who has created all, the Lord of all, the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So coming back to the linking, with linking it with Surah Abasa, this is most of these linking that I have got is from Abdul Salam Rustami rahimahullah, either from his Tafseer that he has written down or from his Dora that he has done long time ago. So he says that I think around 6 of these linking is from him. So he says, in the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about some conditions of Qiyamah, at the end of Qiyamah. And here is the very initial or the beginning of the Qiyamah. So there is the end, okay, like the end or the hisab starts and so on. يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ, okay, and so on. And in here is at the beginning how the stage is being set, or before even the Qiyamah comes, when before the Ba'ath, the condition have been started and has been mentioned. So link number 2, the Shaykh says, in the previous surah is this targheeb ila al-Quran, this encouragement towards the Quran, okay, is at the beginning of the surah, and in this surah is at the end okay, targhib al-Quran and sidq Rasul. In the previous surah there is sidq of Rasul as well, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and in here, but at the end of the surah. Link number 3, in the previous surah, the Shaykh says that there is a mention of people denying this coming back to life in the previous surah, and in here is the deniers of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam or Risala and the Quran, the Wahi. Number 4 is in the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala call it tadhkira at the beginning of the surah, and here is being called dhikrul lil alameen at the end of the surah, this Quran. So beautiful, is beautiful link. This is, inshallah, we will discuss what is dhikrul lil alameen later on. The 5th link, the Shaykh said that in the previous surah is the affirmation, ithbat of qiyamah, and here is the ahwal of qiyamah, the stages and the conditions of the qiyamah. And also in the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّاخَّةِ, talking about the qiyamah, that it will come. And here is the purpose, what is the reason for this qiyamah coming, is for the human to meet its own a'mal. Another link, which is not from Abdul Salam Rustami rahimahullah, but it's very much linked to the previous. They say in the previous 2 surahs, وَالنَّازِعَاتِ فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الطَّامَّةُ الْكُبْرَى and فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّاخَّةِ. Okay, that has been mentioned, talking about the qiyamah, that they will come. Okay, but in here is explaining the explanation of what they are. Okay, we said the previous one was the purpose, but in here is what they actually are, like the description or the tafsil, okay, of these 2. What is طَامَّةُ الْكُبْرَى, what is فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّاخَّةِ. Another link, in the previous surah, it ended on chaos in people, and this surah starts from chaos, this huge, scary situation in the creation of Allah, from the mountains and other creation. Another linking is from Sheikh Ghulamullah Khan rahimahullah in his Tafseer Jawahir al-Quran. He writes, in the previous surah, Abasa wa Tawalla, there is this sorrow state, this scary state, or this situation of the people, of this insan, human being, running away from each other, worrying about themselves, nafsi nafsi, and so on. يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْرِيهِ. So many issues that's going on for this human being itself. Okay, and in here is talking about where it's going. Okay, it's either going Jannah or it's going Jahannam. It's abode, where is its place, is natija of that person has been mentioned in here, where is ending, where is going to end up. Okay, and lastly, in the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the high status of the Quran, and here it talks about the high status of the chain, of the linking. Okay, this Quran that here comes to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to us, it has a beautiful link, and the people or the things that has been involved in all this link, they have no issue, they are all trustworthy, they are all thiqah, they are all strong. Okay, this is very important. Inshallah, this will come later on. But another portion of this lesson is the khulasa, or the summary of the surah. Inshallah, we will do this, and then we will end before we start the tafsir in the next lesson. So in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about 12 different stages of the qiyamah, ahwal of qiyamah. The first 6 are before the resurrection, and the 6 are after. So the first 6 will be talking about how the qiyamah will come, the zalzala, and all the issues and the troubles that's gonna be happen, the animals coming to where the human are living, and the situation of the stars and the mountains and so on. Okay, it's talking about that. And then the next 6 are talking about the conditions and the stages of ahwal of qiyamah after the resurrection. So this is happening till ayah 13, and from in ayah 14 we find out the reason of this qiyamah, maqsad qiyamah, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have why this qiyamah will come, what is the purpose of the qiyamah that has been mentioned in ayah 14, for people to know, for people to meet where their a'mal, for them to be held accountable, that everything that people does in this dunya, they are not in vain, everything has a purpose that you see in this dunya. You human being has a purpose, how you fulfill this purpose or not, this is what you're going to find out on the day of judgment. In ayah 15, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from ayah 15, Allah gives 3 shawahid, witnesses, like qasams, okay, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالْخُنَّسِ الْجَوَارِ الْكُنَّسِ وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا عَسْعَسَ وَالصُّبْحِ إِذَا تَنَفَّسَ. Okay, and to affirm Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam that he is on haqq, and Rasul sallallahu and Quran is haqq. Okay, Sidqi Rasul, Sidqi Risalat, or Sadaqati Rasul, or Sadaqati Quran. It's called like the affirmation or the truthfulness of Quran and Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is happening till ayah 18. Thereafter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the first rawi of the Quran, the first narrator of this Quran. Okay, this is Jibreel alayhi salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about 6 of his beautiful qualities. The one who has brought this Quran initially, the first rawi of this Quran from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he is not someone ordinary. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives 6 different qualities, talks about 6 different qualities of Jibreel alayhi salam. Thereafter is that's from ayah 19 to 21. Is in the next from ayah 22 is talking about the second rawi, or the first rawi in the human being. The first rawi in the malaika was Jibreel alayhi salam, and the first rawi in Rasul sallallahu alayhi is Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It talks about Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam and 3 of his beautiful qualities. Okay, so this is in the chain is second rawi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that all the chain is beautiful, all of them is trustworthy, and all of them are not someone whom you can talk about lightly. Okay, and thereafter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this Quran itself. How is this Quran? This is from ayah 25 to 28. And in ayah 29, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let the people know your reality, where you stand, what is your capabilities. Everything is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Okay, know who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. In one of the ayah, فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ, ayah 26, there is a reprimand to those people. Yeah, where are you going? Where are you going leaving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Where are you going leaving this Quran? Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this Quran who came to you with this beautiful sanad, this beautiful thiqqa sanad, okay, this chain that I came to you. There are no issues with Quran itself, and neither how it came to you. It's beautiful. Hold on to this Quran. Know who Allah is through this Quran, through the ways of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? Where are you going beside this? There is no other way, there is no other salvation for you but through this. When you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, عَلِمَتْ نَفْسٌ مَا أَحْضَرَتْ, you will find out what you have done. So work towards that. Make sure the things that you find out on that day is something beautiful, those things which pleases the one who is going to be judging you on that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So make sure the works that you have done is something that you are happy to see on that day. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ فَيَقُولُ هَاؤُمُ اقْرَءُوا كِتَابِيَهْ إِنِّي ظَنَنْتُ أَنِّي مُلَاقٍ حِسَابِهِ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. Okay, so you are happy on that day when you said, neither from the other people. وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِشِمَالِهِ فَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أُوتَ كِتَابِيَهْ وَلَمْ أَدْرِ مَا حِسَابِيَهْ. Okay, you will curse yourself. You will don't be from those people who go astray from the path of Allah. There is no other way, there is no other road. فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? Where are you going from Allah? That's your only way, the only goal that you have and you meant to achieve. But this is very strange of a human being, that he leaves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his whims and desires to please himself rather than pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Sheikh that I was listening to in order to have good grasp over this surah, Mufti Ayaz Durrani rahimahullah, he says basically this surah has been split to 2 parts. Well, the first is talking about the akhirah, okay, the first 6 stages at the beginning and then 6 stages after the resurrection. Okay, these stages are going to come. Where are you going? What are the type of action that you are doing? Are you going to be the one who will be content? Are you going to be the one who will be under the mercy, under the shade of Allah under the shade of the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Are you going to be the one whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to on day of judgment? Okay, are you going to be one of those people? So ponder over these things. Ponder over this scary scenario that's coming on your way. It's definitely going to come on you. Some of the stages everyone will be able to see, especially after the resurrection. Okay, this will come on you. So work towards that. The second is talking about the risala. The second theme, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالْخُنَّسِ, from here, okay, is talking about the risala. This prophet who is talking to you, or the sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam that's in front of you, is not a person who is mad, okay, بِمَجْنُونَ وَمَا صَاحِبُكُمْ بِمَجْنُونَ, okay, or neither, nothing has possessed over him, okay, that he has lost to think rationally. He is not one of those. Na'udhu billah. Okay, this Quran that came to him is of high status. He didn't just hear it from anywhere like the kahins that you have in front of you, or the kahins that we have nowadays. Okay, they guess stuff. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not like that. The wahi that came is certain. The way it came is beautiful, is protected. The one whom it came to is the one who is trustworthy, the one who only speaks truth. Okay, so everything is like something which there is no doubt about. Do not run away from this. فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ. Do not go away from this. Hold on to this Quran. Do not stand against it. Otherwise, it's your own loss. It's not the loss of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not loss of this Quran, and it's never the loss of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only loss is your own loss. So فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ. Where are you going? May Allah give us the correct understanding. So inshallah we will end here. This is just the introduction of the surah, and thereafter inshallah ta'ala we will start Tafseer in the next lesson. Jazakallah khair for listening. May Allah forgive our shortcomings and accept the good from us. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.